This is Urban City Life, and my guest Desmont Upchurch is just giving us an analysis and the views of what he's planning to do once elected as mayor of South Bend. Welcome once again.
Yes.
There is this issue of mental illnesses. How are you going to handle it, and also what is the cause of such issue?
It's hard to put a price on the the amount that needs to be spent on mental health.
Yes.
So I don't think there's a ideal price. I think we need ideal results, and so to get to those results, it will take a community effort. Um, but mental health is huge within South Bend,
Yeah.
um, and we are trying to solve those issues um, by starting a mental health crisis center. And in that mental health crisis center that is proposed to provide some of the necessary resources for aiding individuals who are having a mental health crisis.
Uh, there is also this issue of murder cases. What is the cause of the rise of murder cases in your state?
So recently, we just had an 11-year-old young man murdered in South Bend. Murder is on the rise, but we have to figure out a way to um, come together as a community to solve this issue. Um, the senseless violence is unnecessary, yet there are many that believe that we need programs, activities for the youth, so that we are able to um, curb the violence. When I arrive back in South Bend, this is one of the issues that I have to face, and we have to come up with logical ways of handling the violence. Um, we can't make it an emotional issue. We really have to come together to create a method to reduce that violence so that the youth feel valued, but the citizens feel safe.
That's nice. You once worked in the army for 20 years.
Yes.
How was your experience?
The Army gave me amazing leadership opportunities and leadership um, 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 possibilities. The Army gave me exposure to other ideals that brought me outside of my bubble so that I could see the pain and challenges from other perspectives. So I believe that 20 years were invaluable to shaping me to become the leader that I am today.
How will that experience impact your leadership as a mayor?
So I believe as a mayor, these leadership qualities would allow me to not look at things with emotions, but allow me to look at them with the understanding that these are issues that can be solved. Um, Being a mayor, you have to put people in the right position to get to get the job done. Um, and I believe that the Army has taught me how to identify necessary individuals to put in the right place so that we can lead the city into a safer direction.
Did you participate in any peace missions in the world in different countries?
So I did not get the opportunity to participate in any peace missions. However, I was deployed to Iraq 3 times, and we definitely was there trying to keep the peace. However, war is never a peaceful business. Um, so, to answer the question blatantly, no.
Now that you're in Kenya, what are some of the issues you've seen they are relevant in Kenya and back in your state?
Um, the level of poverty. Um, Having the opportunity to visit the slums, um, I believe there's individuals there with high hopes and great possibilities. Um, when we're looking in South Bend, how does those compare? I believe there's no comparison to what the slums are going through versus what um, the homeless is going through in South Bend, Indiana. What I'm learning is there are programs there in South Bend that we have to kind of help assist, whereas in the slums there's no assistance. Um, and I think that's a heavy challenge for individuals in Kenya. Uh, and hopefully, we're able to create resources so that we can um, provide hope.
In your statement, while declaring that you are vying for this seat, you say that um, if people lack good leadership, they lack. You mentioned about leadership as well as ownership.
Yes.
Kindly explain that.
So, leadership is accepting the responsibility that something has to change.
Yes.
Ownership is taking that responsibility and you being the individual to make the outcome desirable, right? We have a lot of individuals who lack the um, that doesn't want the responsibility and is not taking ownership of the outcome of those of that decision. Um, I want to be that leader that takes on the responsibility and take ownership of the outcome of the responsibility, right? So when I say that, I say we have to have leaders who take ownership and not place blame elsewhere. Um, in the army, there's a saying: everything that happens and fails to happen under your leadership is your responsibility, right? So we have a city that is the crime is picking up. Leaders have to take ownership for that. As they take ownership for the good things that happen, they have to take ownership of the bad things that happen, no matter the outside influences.
Do you think you are incumbent as delivered?
I think the incumbent has not delivered. I think he has made promises that he has failed to keep. And as citizens of South Bend, you can fool me once, um, it'll be shame on me. But to be fooled again is is unnecessary, right? So the way to not be fooled is to vote differently, right? So that we can desire a different outcome.
How is your leadership going to handle differently uh, the issues of South Bend?
The way we will handle the issues in South Bend, we will um, we will come together as a community. We're going to solve these issues together. We're going to encourage that all the citizens take ownership and move South Bend in a positive direction.
Let's talk about which plan do you have about education?
So we just happen to have a school closure occur, um, whereas some of the individuals, um, um, some of the leadership would believe that that is necessary. I happen to believe that it's not necessary. I believe that leaders mismanage the funds for such schools. Leaders have to take ownership that they made um, um, unwise decisions with those finances, and it is costing um, our our taxpayers an additional school. My plan would be to face that challenge by reconsolidating the finances. However, South Bend as a city has no South Bend as a city cannot force the school corporation to do anything. However, they have strong influence. And when we look at that influence, if you look at the incumbent mayor's policies, he has put financial contributions behind individuals on the school board. And when you look at the voting of such school board members, they have voted to close that school corporation. I don't believe in coincidences. So I believe his influence has played a role in the closure of such schools,
Yeah.
and he has to take ownership of that.
You are watching Urban Settler Live, your number one source of pure, impactful interviews and testimonies. And my guest today, Desmont Upchurch. He is the candidate running for mayoral position in the coming elections. We shall be right back.